Greetings, welcome, and thank you for joining us today for EarthEcho's special event, a conversation with EarthEcho's STEMExplore Mentors. My name is Casey Gaylord Opaleski, and I'm the STEMexplore Coordinator at EarthEcho International. We are so excited to have students from all over the globe joining us as we learn about STEM careers. Now, this special live event is part of STEMexplore, EarthEcho's newest program that is taking inspiration to access, telling the stories of dynamic women in STEM careers during live virtual field trips such as this one. We are excited to bring STEMexplore to life thanks to support from our founding sponsor, United Technologies. We could not do this program without you. Thank you, UTC. You can explore a number of STEM careers as well as tune in for upcoming virtual events like this one at EarthEcho's STEMexplore website, STEMexplore.org. I'd like to recognize and thank STEMexplore's 5 partner sites from across the country that have joined us for this program: Boys and Girls Club of Santa Clarita Valley, Youth Power 365, YWCA Hartford Region, Love a Sea Turtle, and Mech Ed. Now, some of these sites are joining us live this morning, so I would like to say hello to some of those interactive sites. First, let's head over to Greenville, North Carolina, to our friends at Love a Sea Turtle. Hello, how are you guys doing?
Good, how about you?
Good, wonderful to see you. Thank you for joining us today. Now over to our friends at YWCA Hartford Region in Hartford. Good morning. Wonderful to see everyone this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, we also love participation from all of you watching. You can participate and ask questions if you are watching on one of our live streams, either on YouTube or STEMexplore.org. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, you will simply use the chat space either to the right of your video viewer or directly below that. Now, you can post questions to that chat space now or at any time during the virtual field trip. If you're watching on STEMexplore.org, just simply click on Submit Questions that you see above your video viewer. So again, please go ahead and post questions now or at any time during this virtual event. In fact, today is really special because this is an extended question and answer event brought back by popular demand. We have asked 3 of our STEMexplore mentors back today so that you all can have a conversation with them. Now, before we get started with that, I do want to introduce a co-host that I have joining us from Tampa, Florida, Olivia Blondheim. Olivia is with EarthEcho's Youth Leadership Council. Hello, Olivia.
Hi, Casey. It's so great to be here. My name is Olivia, and I am a PhD student at the University of South Florida. I am also a member of EarthEcho International's Youth Leadership Council, and I'm going to be helping co-host our virtual field trip today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Olivia. We're very excited to have you and to have your insights, too, as a young woman pursuing a STEM career. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I would like to welcome our 3 STEMexplore mentors that have joined us once again this morning for a conversation. So we have these 3 lovely women joining us, and I'm going to let them go ahead and introduce themselves. So let's start off with Dr. DeWitt. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning, and thank you for inviting me back. I'm really excited to be here to talk to some more students again. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Pharmacology and Toxicology at East Carolina University, also here in Greenville.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jamie. Now let's head over to Patricia Delcourt.
Hi, everyone. My name is Patricia Delcourt. I'm so happy to be here again. I am a mechanical engineer in the greater Chicagoland area working for Xylem, Illinois as a designer of centrifugal pumps.
Excellent. All right, now let's head to our last STEMexplore mentor, Siobhan Archer.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shavonti Archer, and I work for Florida Power and Light. I am a mechanical engineer, and I am in distribution engineering and transmission engineering.
Excellent. Thank you again, ladies, so much for joining us. We're super excited to have you. So now what we're going to do, just to get everybody up to speed that's joining in this morning, is we're going to let each of these women tell us a little bit about their career, what they're doing, and maybe a little bit about how they got there. So this is just kind of a review in case you haven't seen their virtual field trips that have previously aired this fall. So we're going to start off with Dr. Jamie DeWitt. Jamie, go ahead and tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Thank you. So I'm an environmental toxicologist, and the reason that I study environmental contaminants or environmental pollutants is that I've always been interested in environmental science and in nature. I'm interested in looking at how people use water because water is one of the most critical resources that we have for life. We use it for recreation, we use it for watering crops, we use it to make the products that we need every day. We also have to drink it. And a lot of the water that we drink also gets used for other purposes. So I'm really interested in figuring out what these contaminants do to our bodies. So I look at how the contaminants we drink through our water affect our health. I'm very interested in helping communities to understand what they can do about their water supplies and what they can do to understand a little bit about how they can change laws and maybe take action to make sure that their water is clean. The class of compounds that I work mostly with right now are called per and polyfluoral alkyl substances. It's a big long name. We abbreviate them as PFAS. They've been found here in North Carolina, so they get into our recreational water, but they're not treated by some of the plants that we use to get into our drinking water. So that water that we consume can then get into our bodies where it can have effects on our health. And one of the areas of concern here in North Carolina is in our Cape Fear River, which is near Wilmington, North Carolina. It's been the focus of a lot of attention. A lot of people have protested about the water and about the company that let these contaminants get into the water. Or I should say that we're allowed to put some of these contaminants into the water because some of the pollutants that we're exposed to are legally discharged into water. So I'm interested in really understanding what they do to our health, what they do to our bodies. And I got interested in this because I'm interested in policy and law and science, and including biology and chemistry and environmental science. So for me, toxicology is the perfect way to blend all of those issues together.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jamie. Now let's head over to Patricia Delcourt, and Patricia is going to recap what she does.
Hey guys. So when I was younger, I didn't really have a lot of exposure to women in STEM careers or any STEM careers at all. But I knew that I wanted to do something that mixed my like for design and for art and my love for math and science. So without a clear direction, I did 2 years at community college, found mechanical engineering, realized that, yes, this is something I can really do. Attended University of Illinois at Chicago and got my bachelor's degree in 2015. And ever since then, I've been working for Xylem Inc. as a mechanical engineer. I work in new product development, and I am a part of the Xylem new product development product cycle, which means that I am involved with products from the very beginning of brainstorming, idea on a napkin type of thing, all the way out to we have the product out on the shelf available on our website for the customer to purchase. So the products I design are centrifugal pumps, and they push water through the casing and through the impeller and provide water into your shower heads, into sprinkler systems, circulate hot water through your homes, move sewage around in utilities and that sort of thing.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Patricia. Lovely to have you joining us again. Now let's head over to Siobhan Archer, and Shavonti is going to tell us a little bit more about what she does.
Hello, everyone, and I'm so glad to be back again today. So what I started in mechanical engineering, and I chose that career path very early on in high school, my 10th grade year in high school. I had a teacher show us a video of some wind farms and solar farms, and that's the solar panels and the wind turbines. And I said, wow, that's really cool. I think I want to do that. And so my senior year of high school, we had an engineering course, basically to kind of introduce us to it, to understand what it is. And so I was hooked from there. I graduated with my mechanical engineering degree from Georgia Southern University in 2014. And I now work for Florida Power and Light in Orlando, Florida. And basically I design the distribution poles and the distribution facilities, as well as some transmission facilities as well. So if you guys are kind of like, what is that? Distribution poles are the poles that are in your neighborhoods or that you can see, in either your neighborhood or around the city. And we also designed the little green boxes that you guys may see by your houses. That's distribution. And the transmission facilities, what I designed, are the big poles that you usually see on the expressway. So that's kind of what I do. My company is also super big on solar power and also wind power. So we're doing a lot of things, changing technology to kind of do things better for the environment and better for everyone around us.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Shavonti. We're so excited to have all three of you join us this morning. Now comes the time for questions and answers. So what we're going to do is we're going to monitor the chat spaces that we did mention. Again, if you are watching on YouTube, you can definitely submit questions using that chat space, either to the right of your viewer or directly below. If you're watching on STEMExplore.org live, you can go ahead and click submit questions, and that'll take you to a Google form where you can send us your questions. But we also have our interactive sites, as well as our co-host, Olivia Blondheim, our member of Youth Leadership Council here at EarthEcho, that's going to help us with some questions as well. So to get things started, let's go over to our friends at Love a Sea Turtle in Greenville, North Carolina. So Love a Sea Turtle, what questions do you have for any of our mentors?
This is just a general question. Would you say it's more difficult as a woman to get a job in a STEM-related field, or like, what's your opinion on that? It's more of a open, broad question.
That is a really great question. Shavonti, do you want to go ahead and take that?
Yes, I can take that. It is not difficult at all to get a job into the STEM field. What's difficult, what we're finding, is that women like yourself and myself, we don't feel comfortable in applying to those positions because that fear of being the only female or being the only minority in the room. And really, they want us to be there. They want us to apply for more of these STEM-related jobs because they want a more diverse field. They don't want just men, coming up with these ideas that's changing the world. Women need to be a part of that as well. So it's not hard applying and getting in the door. It's just opportunities like this, what we're doing today, is going to hopefully motivate you all to start applying more and to start going into more STEM fields. So it's that fear is taken away.
Excellent. Patricia or Jamie, do you want to add to that at all?
Sure, I can add to it, and I agree absolutely with that particular answer. I think one of the other issues that we have in the STEM field for women is that many of us don't apply for promotions. So many of us are kind of afraid to travel up the ladder because we're afraid of hearing that word no, but you're never going to find out if you can make that next step unless you apply. So it's sort of like that old rule. You can't fail if you don't try, but you also can't succeed if you don't try. So it's important once you get into the field to apply yourself and look for those promotions and opportunities within your field so that you can travel up the ladder at the same rate as males. So in academia, we have equal numbers when you first come in, but when you advance to associate, full professor, and to some of those administrative positions, the number of women declines because for some reason we don't apply as much.
Excellent. That is wonderful advice. Patricia, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I could not agree more with both of what the two other mentors said. Totally true. Another thing, especially in new product development, we see that companies are really pushing to have more diverse teams, because the more diverse your team is, the more different ideas you can have at the ideation stage to develop these new, different, exciting products. It's really all about being different in the market right now. And the best way to be different is to have different people on your team. So definitely not difficult to find a job as a woman, especially if you speak multiple languages, or you're from a different culture, or you have exposure to different cultures. Really big plus, because we're global now. We're working with people from different companies, different states, different countries. So it's really, really important to have different faces in STEM fields right now.
Excellent. Thank you, ladies. All right, Love a Sea Turtle in Greenville, North Carolina. What other question do you have for our STEM mentors?
What can I, as a male, do to help with the lack of women in STEM fields?
Dr. DeWitt, do you want to start with that one?
That's a really, really good question. I actually mentor quite a few male students, and I share with them my own experiences and histories and tell them that one of the best things they can do is to be an advocate for a woman. If they know a woman who can do a job in a particular way, maybe he should say, hey, you know, I have this female colleague who can do X, Y, or Z. And likewise, women can do that for men as well. So we need to support one another. And we especially need to support those who might not have had the same opportunities as we've had, you know, give them a hand up, especially women and underrepresented minorities who might not have had the same types of opportunities that we had. For example, I was a first generation college student. When I got to college, I thought, I'm going to join the honors college. So I went to Michigan State, went to the honors college, and the woman said, so where's your AP credits? And I said, what's an AP credit? I went to a very small rural high school, and I didn't know anything about advanced placement. So even now, while I'm assuming you're still in high school, you can make sure that everybody in your school knows about advanced placement or other opportunities that you've heard about, but maybe they haven't.
Excellent. Patricia, would you like to add on to that at all?
Yeah, I think also understanding that just because sometimes women have a different upbringing, understanding when they come in that they may have different set of skills than you is important. So not belittling anyone for something that they may not know, but reaching out and teaching them, hey, you know, maybe your dad taught you how to change your brake pads and you have, you know, a female friend who doesn't know how to do that. Reach out and say, hey, would you like me to teach you this skill that's going to help you later on? Because maybe they didn't have an opportunity or the exposure to these types of skills. So teaching rather than, wow, you don't know this, how can you not know this? That's kind of important too.
Excellent. Shavonti, would you like to add one last thought to that?
Yes, my only little thing I would say is in high school and in middle school, girls, young women, young ladies, we're so consumed with wanting to be the most prettiest and the most popular and the most, you know, whatever. Well, I think guys should start complimenting our minds. Like, wow, you're really smart. Like, wow, you really, you know, answered that question. If you guys started promoting our minds and promoting what's inside of us and not just what's on the outside, I think that's really going to help us be more confident in academia and wanting to excel in those levels.
Excellent. Wonderful feedback, ladies. Thank you. All right, let's go over to our partners at the YWCA Hartford region in Hartford, Connecticut. Ladies, what question do you have for our STEMexplore mentors?
Our question is, how can STEM girls our age get more involved?
Excellent. How can girls in STEM, say in high school, get more involved? So Jamie, let's go ahead and start with you.
So I know that academic schedules can be really busy, but if you have any opportunities to volunteer, I encourage you to volunteer because those opportunities are going to allow you to meet and work with different types of people under different types of situations. So it could be at a food bank, it could be at a museum, it could be offering to watch kids at your church, any type of volunteer activity that gets you out of your comfort zone and gets you feeling more comfortable with who you are and what you enjoy is going to make you a stronger candidate for college. It's going to make you a stronger candidate for job applications. So get out there and make yourself uncomfortable and do something good for your community.
Excellent. Wonderful advice. Patricia?
Definitely knowing what sort of programs and classes your school, whether it is at high school or beginning of college, offers is really important. So speaking with the resources you have at school, whether it is your teachers or your counselors, to know what kind of classes are offered. Hey, do we have a, you know, auto shop class? Do we have an engineering class that I could take? This is kind of my interest. Can you point me in a direction of what resources are available to me? Because sometimes we don't really think to ask and we don't really know where to start looking at what's available to us already readily, right? So I think really knowing what's available to you around you is really important.
Excellent. Shavonti?
So I would definitely recommend looking up your local society of women engineers. That's another reason why in the 10th grade I got involved with engineering at a local section in Atlanta, Georgia, and not volunteer, but they were hosting like a little robotic class. And I went there with my mom and my stepdad, and I loved it. Just seeing other women a little bit older than me, but in college, and seeing what they're doing and what they're doing for, you know, high school students and middle school students, that also helped me get really involved. So definitely look out for your local or
And it sounds like we may be having some technical difficulties with Shavonti. Shavonti, if you want to go ahead, you can try and disconnect and rejoin the Hangout, and we'll get you back. Excellent question, excellent advice from our STEMExplore mentors. All right, YWCA Hartford, let's go back to you for another question.
You could actually. Okay. My question is for Patricia Delcourt, and it is, how does it feel to see your product come into fruition?
Would you mind repeating that last part of your question?
My question is for Patricia Delcourt, and it is, how does it feel to see your product come to fruition?
Excellent.
That was actually a part of our discussion on Wednesday during my actual presentation. I've been working at Xylem for 3.5 years, and I haven't actually been able to finish my project yet. We're actually going to be releasing our product in a month, so already very excited about it. It's 99% done, so I kind of know what the feeling is like already. I'm anticipating it, but it's really exciting knowing that all this work, 3 years went into this product, and now I know that someone's going to purchase it and it's going to do exactly what they want it to do, perform to the highest standards and be really great. It's a really accomplishing feeling, makes me feel very confident. Great way to start a new year, knowing that, yes, I did this. It took a long time. I know how much effort went into it, so much, sweat and so much effort and stress, but it's here. So it's really accomplishing, really gives me a real sense of confidence in, yes, I'm a real engineer and I did this, and this is, my baby, right? So yeah, it's really great.
Wonderful. And we'll come back to YWCA for some more questions. But right now, I want to head over to Olivia Blondheim, our member of Youth Leadership Council here at EarthEcho, to see if she has a question for our STEMExplore mentors.
Great, thanks, Casey. So one of my questions is, as a young PhD student, one of the greatest benefits for me is having the influence of mentors in my life who have really helped me to kind of fine-tune what my interests are, and then also continue to help me to grow in this field. Can you talk about a mentor or even multiple mentors that influenced you as you were developing into the professional that you are today? And also, just for the young ladies out there, how did you really find a mentor? And what was kind of that process of really getting involved with a mentor?
Excellent question. So let's go over to Jamie first for that.
Actually, when I was in 5th grade, my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Athey, recommended me for a scholarship at our local nature center. It gave me the opportunity to go to a nature center for an entire week and learn all about nature. She recognized something in me. I guess I put together a really nice leaf collection, and so she recommended that I go and do this. And I've been very fortunate in that I've had very strong female mentors throughout most of my undergraduate and doctoral careers. They helped me to learn to communicate a little better, to be comfortable with who I am, and to not be afraid to introduce myself to new people and to speak up if I was feeling as if I was not being treated fairly. But I've also had some fantastic male mentors as well. My postdoctoral mentor at the US EPA, Dr. Bob Lubke, helped to introduce me to people in my current field of immunotoxicology. And really, he's been more of an advocate than a mentor. So the difference between an advocate and a mentor is that an advocate does what I recommended to the young man at the Love a Sea Turtle site, and that is, he sold me to other people. He said, hey, you need to meet Dr. DeWitt. She can do A, B, and C. And even now, even though he's retired and I'm advanced in my career, he still advocates for me. In fact, recently he recommended me for an award and wrote a very nice letter that made me feel better than what I think I am.
Wonderful. Patricia, would you like to add on to that?
Yeah, tying in what Jamie said, majority of my mentors also weren't really women, and some of them often weren't even in STEM fields. My first ever mentor was my sophomore high school math teacher, who helped me through all my high school years. I participated in Mathletes. He was one of the teachers in Mathletes, and he really pushed me out of my comfort zone to do, oral presentations in front of judges, and to really push myself out of my comfort zone. Another mentor that I really remember fondly was my creative writing teacher, actually from community college, who also made me think about things really outside of the box. When I would give an assignment and he would say, but why don't you look at it from this point of view or this point of view? You wrote it very straightforward, very on the nose, but think about it differently. And now I do use those skills a lot at work. Some other mentors that I've had were actually my peers in college. If I came in sophomore in college into UIC, I had a lot of senior mentors, especially in clubs and different activities, who would, help me feel not only more comfortable, but also push me out of my comfort zone. So I think a good mentor is a good mix of making you feel comfortable, but not letting you settle, really pushing you and telling you, hey, you're better than this, do more, really encouraging you. And I think what's also cool is that the best mentors kind of find you. So you're out there looking for a mentor and they'll stumble onto you as you're stumbling onto them. So I think that's the best kind of relationships that work out.
Excellent. Thank you. Shavonti? Would you like to talk a little bit about...
Can everyone hear me okay?
I can hear you now, yes.
That Jamie and Patricia said, making sure that you find a mentor that's relatable. Sometimes we go out seeking mentors when really it should be an organic kind of situation. So I agree with everything they said, but definitely joining organizations and joining clubs like Society of Women Engineers at a young age definitely can get you that mentor that you need early on, and it's in some more organic, more natural relationship.
Excellent. Olivia, do you have another question for our mentors?
First of all, I would just like to say I loved all of your responses about mentorship. And I really liked how Jamie kind of differentiated between a mentor and an advocate. And I think that's something I had never really thought about, because when I was working with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, my mentor was a male, but his name was Dr. Rick Broder, and he would introduce me to every single person like in the hallway and like all the different labs. And that made such a big influence on my life because I met so many different people through that. So that is a really great distinction that I didn't really consider before. But my next question is, so as you were developing a lot of the skills, I'm sure you took a lot of classes in biology and chemistry and physics and engineering. What are some of the skills that you've come across that you may not have learned in the classroom, but that you have found have been like very essential to your success in your career?
Excellent question. Jamie, let's start with you.
So at least in the sciences, we don't really take too many communications classes. So learning to speak to broad audiences and to communicate your science in a way that's digestible, understandable, applicable to anybody who's listening is a skill that I think is really essential. But I think we tend to undervalue it in terms of our classroom learning. So if anybody has an opportunity to take a media relations or a communications course, I encourage you to do so, because I've said some really stupid things to journalists, and in other situations, I wish I'd learned earlier how to communicate a little bit better. Additionally, I think nobody ever teaches us how to manage people as well. One of the biggest challenges that I've had in my laboratory is managing the diverse people that I have in my laboratory. I had to have a conversation, and I'm going to be a little bit gross here. I had to have a conversation with one of my doctoral students to let this particular student know that it was not appropriate to pass gas or to pick this person's nose while in front of other people. Nobody told me I'd have to have those types of conversations, and it was really awkward and uncomfortable. But I got past it. We both got past it, and I've hopefully become a better manager.
Excellent. Thank you, Jamie. Now let's go to Patricia.
I really can't stress communication skills enough, especially for engineers, because the image of the past is awkward engineering guy sitting in his cubicle, doesn't want to talk to anyone, is going to give you his work and leave him alone, right? That is not how the world operates at all. So I do meet a lot of engineers, especially, who are lacking so many communication skills, basic communication skills, presentation skills, explaining their ideas correctly. And sometimes it causes a lot of issues in meetings when you have this great idea and you're trying to convince these people that, yes, we should do this. This is amazing. And they're just not, there's this barrier that you just can't get across. So any speech classes, communication classes, making good presentations, PowerPoint presentations right now, super saturated. Every meeting, there's always a PowerPoint presentation. Knowing to make a professional PowerPoint presentation, didn't realize how big of a skill that was until I got into the workforce. Knowing how to do that, I think those are really important. Knowing how to write a professional letter, professional email, knowing when to put who to put in the to field and who to put in the copy field. All these little nuances of communication, especially in office settings, really, really important now, especially with how much electronic mail and technology we're using right now.
Excellent. Shavonti, would you like to add on to that?
Well, I think the two ladies before me, Jamie and Patricia, nailed it. Thank you. The only thing that I could add is time management. I feel like when you're in high school and you're in college, we're so used to taking naps. But when you get in the real world, naps are like something you dream about. So I would definitely say time management, just learning how to prioritize and knowing that, okay, you have a deadline, but how much time do you really have until that deadline? 2 weeks really could turn into 2 hours before. So I would just say everything Jamie and Patricia said and time management.
Perfect. Thank you. Great questions, Olivia. Now let's head back to our interactive video sites. Let's go over to Greenville, North Carolina with Love a Sea Turtle. What other questions do you have for our STEMExplore mentors?
Honestly, you've covered almost everything that couldn't come to my mind right now. I'm still not completely awake. But
you're fine.
But yeah, you've covered a lot of it. And if I do have any other questions, I will definitely type it in the chat.
Perfect. Sounds great. We'll just watch for that. Excellent. Thank you, Love a Sea Turtle.
You're welcome.
All right, then let's hop on over to our friends in Hartford, Connecticut at the YWCA Hartford region.
Well, this is kind of a personal question for Jamie. So when you said, when you explained your job, it kind of struck interest to me. So it doesn't really have to do with like the whole, STEM, but what do you think is the number one contaminant in water? This is just like a broad question.
That's perfect.
So it really depends. The number one contaminant in water could be different depending on where you live. For example, in the part of North Carolina that has this Gen X contaminant in the water, that's one of the main contaminants because there's an industrial facility that discharges it or releases it into the water, although they've been working to reduce how much they put into the water. In other parts of the country, up in Connecticut, you might have issues with something known as aqueous film forming foam. There might be agricultural runoff, such as pesticides that come from farm fields. There might be runoff from roads, so diesel, petroleum products, grease, gas, etc., can get into the water. So it really depends on where you live. Now, the question that I would want to ask you is, do you know where your water comes from? And if you don't, find out where it comes from. So if you live in the city, you probably have public water, and that's treated by a facility, and they usually put out annual reports. So you can look and see what they've measured in your water, and you can find out the main contaminants in your water and what your utility is doing to get those contaminants out of your water. Very smart engineers work for public treatment facilities to make sure that our water is safe to drink. And if you're on well water, you might want to ask your guardians, well, when's the last time that our well was tested? What do we have in it? In some areas, lead might be a concern because of the age of the homes and the age of pipes. This is especially a problem in big cities that have a lot of older homes. So I would challenge you with that really good question to go back and find out where your water comes from and what's in your water.
Awesome. Thank you. That was an excellent question. So let's head back to Hartford, Connecticut with YWCA Hartford Region. What other question do you have for our mentors?
Our question is, what is some advice that you have for girls trying to get jobs in STEM?
Perfect. And you know what? This was a question that came in on the form. So I am going to kind of piggyback on her question. So what advice would you give to young ladies who want to get into your particular STEM career? And the question that came in on our forums from a live viewer was, what are the top 3 things that they can do to test out their interests to decide if this is something they want to study further? So Jamie, let's start with you.
That's a really good question. Top 3 things or number 1 thing, that's challenging because I'm one of those people, I didn't have a specific plan. I kind of floated from position to position until I found toxicology and realized that it blended together the sciences in a way that was really appealing to me. So I guess number 1 is give yourself time to explore what you're interested in. Don't feel like you have to make a decision about your career right now. You have some time even throughout college or trade school or community college or those first jobs that you start with to figure out, do I like this? Do I not like it? Or what do I like it? What don't I like about it? And I think second, I would say never turn down an opportunity to learn a new task, a new skill, or to travel or to interact with different sets of people. So if you get invited to go on a special scholarship trip, take that opportunity. Take the opportunity to learn something new. In terms of a third option, that's hard to say. Make sure that you talk with your counselors and maybe figure out what types of classes are available that you maybe haven't thought of. And don't forget that in addition to science, the liberal arts also are important. So learn a little bit of history, music, policy, culture, communication, because those also help to enrich us as scientists and make us more well-rounded.
Excellent. Patricia, what advice do you have for young ladies who would like to pursue a STEM career similar to yours?
So thinking back to the question of what top 3 things should you do to see if that's really for you. Obviously the first one, math and science. And it's just not just the basics, having the actual interest in how you got to the solution, what that solution means to you and the problem that you're trying to solve. Was your hypothesis correct? If it was not correct, how do you proceed further? Being interested in the process of problem solving. Engineers are problem solvers. That's basically what we do. We get a problem, we try to solve it. So if you're a problem solver, definitely a career for you. So doing that, liking that process of problem solving, really important. Also having an enjoyment for hands-on activities. So while it might not always be a part of your job, knowing that sometimes you have to get out there, get your hands dirty, that's important too. So those are, I think, the top 2. The third one would be being able to defend your ideas, but at the same time being able to know when it's time to defend your idea, being able to defend it effectively, and knowing when the criticism is correct and being able to pivot and edit your ideas. So kind of having that creative sort of spin on what you're doing and how you're problem solving is really important, which also ties into and any advice I would give for women trying to get jobs in STEM sort of fields. So hands-on activities, any sort of hands-on activities are always better on your resume than having high grades. That's internships, clubs, any sort of skills, taking a welding class when you go to community college, doing computer drafting in community college. Those sort of things are always better than having a 4.0 average, because that's where employers look. on your resumes. And when you come in for an interview, coming in confident and answering questions fully, no one-worded answers. I recently interviewed some new grads for positions in engineering. And, when we had a candidate coming in and they just kind of give you a one-worded answer and don't give you anything to go on, that's really difficult for us to assess how they're going to perform in their career. Giving really, really extensive answers. Even if you're running out of time in the interview, you're the one who's supposed to be talking. Even if they ask you one question and you spend an hour talking about yourself, your accomplishments, what you want to achieve, that is so important. Come in and just talk about yourself. You're selling yourself and you need to be good at it. So that's my advice. A little bit long-winded, but I hope it was good.
Excellent. Shavonti, let's go to you.
Yes, so top 3, research the opportunity, research what the field is, research the salary, research the work-life balance. Second thing I would say is job shadowing. So maybe if you know someone who works in that particular field, to see if, hey, is there a bring your child or bring a friend to work day, just to kind of see what they're doing. And then last but not least, I told this to a group of young ladies in the West Palm Beach area. The number one thing I think that will help you kind of focus or understand if that's what you want to go into, ask your parents, ask your guardians, ask your aunts, ask your uncles, what do they do? Do they enjoy what they do? Don't ask them how much money they make, but definitely see what they do, see what's in your you may have an uncle or an aunt that's a chemist and you didn't even know it, or they, took a different route and went to, a trade school and they're making really great money and they love what they do. So definitely ask the people that's closest to you, what do they do and do they like it?
Excellent. All right, let's go to our friends at YWCA one last time for one more question if they have it.
What experiences did you get from STEM?
Excellent. So what experiences did you get from STEM? Maybe prior to your career? Let's go with it. And since we're running a little bit short on time, I'm just going to go to one of our STEMExplore mentors, and let's bounce back to Shavonti to answer that question.
Okay. I've had amazing opportunities in STEM. I've been able to travel to Texas. I've traveled to California. I've traveled to the Bahamas, even speaking about what I do with my career, and also being able to mentor other young women and young men as well. And one opportunity in particular, I was able to go to a conference, a Women in Technology conference in California, and I was able to meet other like-minded individuals. There were men, there were women, they were from all different nationalities. So I would say there are so many great occasions and so many great events that you can do in the STEM field, and it can literally take you all over the world. I watched Patricia's STEM event, and she's been to China, she's been, all over the world. So STEM can really take you anywhere. And a lot of times, if you get with a great company, they'll pay for it. So that's even better.
Great, wonderful. Thank you so much, ladies. Now, before we say goodbye to everyone, I know we've already kind of covered this about words of advice, but I do want to go to each of you just one last time to kind of wrap things up. Any words of wisdom that you can give to any students watching out there that want to pursue your career, just real short and sweet, maybe 30 seconds each. That would be wonderful. And we are going to start with Jamie.
So I'm going to go back to the not turning down opportunities. Along with that is networking. I know we use the word networking all the time, but don't be afraid to introduce yourself to people. I've gone up to so many scientists at meetings and said, "Hi, I'm Jamie. I've read your papers. I'm really excited to meet you." And different types of collaborative projects have come out of that dorky introduction. So don't be afraid to introduce yourself to other people, and don't turn down opportunities to get those extra experiences.
Wonderful. Patricia, any last words of advice?
Definitely being open to constructive criticism, but also being able to tell the difference between when someone is being constructive and when someone is just being really against you. Ignore those people. Those people don't matter. They don't know what they're talking about, right? People who give you constructive criticism, they don't come from a bad place, right? They want you to improve as well. So definitely take their word, what they're telling you, and think about, hey, maybe I should think about it a little bit more. Maybe I should pivot, change the way I do things to improve my skills. So don't be afraid of being criticized. I know we as women are really, really afraid of failing, right? Because we feel like we have that one chance to just show off and be really good and then make it last. But a lot of the time, it's okay. It's okay to fail. It's okay to mess up. Just know how to be open to fixing it, right? Don't sit and wallow. Just fix your mistakes and keep going.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, Shavonti, any last words of advice from you?
Yes, be confident. Be confident in whatever you do. That confidence is going to give you the power that you need to excel in whatever science or technology or arts, whatever you do. Just be confident and own it.
Excellent. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you all so much for joining us again. Thank you all for your wonderful advice. You are truly an inspiration for so many out there. So I also want to thank everyone for tuning in today for this special STEMExplore live event. And you can also follow along all of these STEMExplore mentor adventures by visiting their websites, following their social media. And you can just keep your eyes on that. Keep your eyes on STEMExplore.org for any updates. We will be continuing our live events in 2019, and so we hope to see you join us again. Now, I'd also like to thank our STEMExplore partner sites, especially the interactive sites that have joined us today at Love a Sea Turtle in Greenville, North Carolina, as well as the YWCA Hartford region in Hartford, Connecticut. Amazing questions, everyone. Now, to tell everyone about some exciting upcoming events and opportunities that we have for you, I'd like to call on Olivia.
Great. EarthEcho has some exciting opportunities coming up. You can monitor the water in your community by joining the EarthEcho Water Challenge. Visit monitorwater.org, where you can learn about water quality and how to order an EarthEcho water monitoring kit. Become a citizen science and submit your data and results right there online at watermonitor.org. Expedition, Water by Design, explores the issues of water scarcity and drought through free, innovative resources. You can enter to win a $500 mini grant by submitting your stories of students exploring engineering design around water resource management or developing their own water conservation or restoration projects. For more information, visit earthecho.org. Coming in early 2019 is EarthEcho's newest expedition, Plastic Seas. Stay tuned to earthecho.org as we unveil free videos, lesson plans, and activities to educate students about plastic pollution in the ocean and innovative strategies to solve this global issue. In 2019, STEMExplore will continue to bring relatable voices in STEM careers. Stay tuned to our website as we announce our upcoming live virtual field trips. For more information and to register for these exciting events, visit STEMexplore.org. Click on the live events cabinet or the virtual field trips tab on the left. Again, you can follow EarthEcho and all our exciting programs on our social media channels and website.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Olivia. And again, thank you to our wonderful STEMExplore mentors and also to our founding sponsor, United Technologies. We could not do STEMExplore without their support. I want to thank these mentors once again, as well as those mentors that couldn't join us today. We've had a wonderful fall series of virtual field trips. If you have not seen some of the virtual field trips, again, you can visit STEMExplore.org because all of the recordings are posted there after we feature these live events. So we hope to see you all in 2019. And on behalf of EarthEcho International, thank you all for tuning in and keep exploring.